There we go.
Now you should. Good morning. Garrett, how are you?
Good morning, Dave. Doing well. Doing well. How are you doing?
It's good. Hurricane season took a while to get interesting, I guess, but it's getting real interesting here for the end of the year. Got Melissa,
Yeah.
and could be the last one of the year, but this hurricane season could be going out with a bang.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to find the ACE numbers. This system has the potential to put us very close or slightly above normal for the year, which you know, given what things looked like September 10th, another backloaded season, which, you know, not all backloaded seasons are created equal. Obviously, last season we had, two major hurricanes make, you know, major impacts in the Southeast US. This
Yeah.
season we've been fortunate enough that they've all kind of been repelled away, uh, you know, once they've gotten to about 70 west or so. So Melissa, on its face right now looks to kind of do the same, but it's the first system in the Caribbean. Anytime you get a system in the Caribbean at that low latitude, there's a lot of options on the table. There will be land impacted. It's just a matter of if it's just the Greater Antilles or we get the Bahamas and even some portion of the East Coast involved. But that seems like a pretty low probability at this point.
You said major hurricane?
Goodness gracious, what's that? 885 millibars.
That's 900. 900, Cat 5,
Yeah.
Monday morning, southwest of Jamaica here. So
Mhm.
I think the 0Z was even lower. Yeah, 886. There you go.
Yeah.
What's the record in the
Yeah.
Atlantic Basin for lowest pressure?
882 Hurricane Wilma,
Yeah.
2005, in a very similar position, similar time of year. There is what I texted you probably 6 days ago now, 5 days ago. If this
A week ago today.
A week ago today. This could basically, paraphrasing, but this has a pattern of where it could go to a Category 5, and you're getting some pretty reputable, pretty steady names out there who are saying the same thing now. If this goes south of Jamaica and kind of sits in this 90 degree, 91-degree Fahrenheit ocean temperature water, high oceanic heat content, so the depth of the heat is pretty deep, low shear environment. This will go to a Category 5. It's just a matter of, is it record breaking or not? So yeah, exactly. So if it meanders and tries to stay, it's ridiculously warm. If it meanders and tries to stay east of Puerto Rico, its cap is probably a bit low. I'm sorry, not Puerto Rico, Jamaica. Its cap is a bit lower, but if it does what the hurricane models are doing, what the European and its ensembles are doing, this will have, the potential to break some records, which will be the main story. So we'll have to monitor the trends over the next couple of days. Probably the next 48 hours will tell us how clear that picture will be.
You just had a feeling that this hurricane season was going to have a trick up its sleeve right at the very end.
Mhm.
It was a whole lot of
Yeah.
nothing. I mean, it really was since Chantal. I mean, we got Aaron close to the U.S., and we had, what was the hurricane that almost made landfall in Bermuda? It's like impossible to make landfall in Bermuda. It's like a
We
month
had
and a half
Aaron.
ago.
Yeah.
What was it? It's going to bug me. Was it Jerry? No, it wasn't Jerry, was it?
No, it was. No, we should know. But
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah,
That's how you know this
Aaron,
isn't
we had
scripted. This
Aaron.
is all ad-libbed, but we should still know.
Fernand almost did it. Fernand almost did it.
Fair
Gabrielle
non.
almost did it.
Fair
Fernand,
non.
sorry.
Fair
Gab-
non.
Fair non. Yes, just make it as complicated as possible.
Yes.
Gabrielle almost did it.
Yeah.
So it's
Yep.
been, they've had a lot of close calls, and this is another one. I think Imelda was the one who actually
It
made
was.
landfall on Bermuda. So,
What
They
almost
had a
did.
lot of
It
close
didn't.
calls.
It didn't officially make landfall. It was close.
right, yeah, it's hard.
The eye
when
did not
island's
get-
the size of
Yeah.
the size of what it's
I mean,
2 miles,
the city
4
of
miles
Houston?
wide,
I
5
don't
miles wide. Yeah, if that. So
So the 60
got here,
euro,
yeah.
very interesting here. When the euro goes down to 937 in a storm that's barely organized right now, I mean that says a whole heck of a lot.
yeah,
There it is
that
right
tells-
now.
that tells the story.
Yesterday, the low-level center and the mid-level center were not stacked on top of each other at all. I haven't gone under the hood this morning at any ASCAT data or anything. I know there were recon flights in the area.
Yeah, there's one in there right now. Yeah, definitely stacking. It'll be interesting to see. There has been kind of a halting of the Western movement for right now, and so it's going to be interesting to see what happens here the next. I want to see with the 12U models how they react to the new data in there. It's a big development. They're following the low-level center, and when it's well exposed and chugging west, it makes the models think, hey, this is probably going to continue to occur. Now that you have what we call stacked, a stacked, system between its low-level center and mid-level center, they tend to slow down a bit. And now we get into the meandering territory, just continue to move west and start jumping north.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to our partner site at Cyclonic WX, there's a cool feature that basically kind of shows the fixes at each point. And so you can see that there was a jump just slightly north this morning versus being able to just continue to move on west. And so,
this one right here.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, you can see that there. You can also, if you're on the storm, if you're on Melissa's specific page, and you under the forecast tracks, you go to, TPCN track trend. So go down. There you go. You can see in the blue line. Yeah, there you go. You can see that kind of stall and jump. So, which has, kind of stopped this Western trend for a bit. So, a lot to monitor here today. I think today is an important day to kind of tell us, what the short-term trend probably within the next 72 to 96 hours will be with the system.
And you got 3 of the 4 hurricane models that turn this into a Cat 5.
Mm-hmm.
By, what is this, hour 120, 5 days, by next Monday morning?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and look at that, all 3 of them, it's in a 24 to 36 hour time frame, taking it from a category 1 to a category 5. So as soon as the shear lifts, as soon as it gets into a position, again, assuming it stays south Jamaica, gets into a position where it can take off, there's nothing to stop it other than internal dynamics. So that will be something to watch. It'll be a pretty spectacular transformation from a tropical storm to a category 5 in a short amount of time. So we'll have to monitor. But there's still, you're taking a look right now at the Google DeepMind. It's still a pretty good amount of spread. It's not like every single model is taking this,
this is Saturday morning, and you've got a crazy disparity here. There's still a few members that have a landfall in Haiti.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Nothing can really be discounted there.
Still a hurricane watch for Haiti.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which I think is probably the right move. And that's why the Hurricane Center's, track, their cone is not really a cone, it's a circle right now. So.
Yeah, literally. But just look at all these deep numbers here. 914, 946, 893, 901, 927, 905, 908.
Yeah.
Was it Andy Hazelton that said that this could be maybe set a record for the lowest pressure if it gets into this kind of southwestern Caribbean area?
Yeah. There's nothing to hold it back. It's very much a Wilma type. And again, there's not going to be a lot of upwelling, deep, warm depth to the water. It's not like it's, near the Gulf Coast where the water starts getting very shallow. The Caribbean has a lot of oceanic heat content, a lot of potential energy available. There's not going to be much in the way to hold this back other than internal dynamics and eyewall replacement cycles. So
you've got kind of 3 camps here. You've got about 30% of the models that send it into Haiti, about half of the members send it into the eastern half of Cuba, and then another 15 to 20% with a bit of a western nudge to it here. Yeah. So, and then then from there on out, it really just depends on the mid latitude pattern.
You can see, the 90 to 95% of the spread has a repelling effect. There's going to be a very deep trough, with a kind of an omega ridge over the top, on the upper levels. And so there's going to be, deep troughing that will drive the steering, and you either get ingestion into the trough basically ingesting the system. I mean, this is the Euro. I was watching this last night. I almost sent you this GIF because it was almost a circus run.
Yeah, I mean, if this is a little bit further west, you're going to get phasing here with this deep trough,
right?
A cutoff low that's almost retrograding.
Yeah,
it backs west here.
Yeah, exactly. So you get two effects. You either get a repel or kind of an absorption into the trough. We've seen very few runs absorb the system into the trough. So typically that ends up being something that is, you got to get more ridging out ahead. There are a couple Google DeepMind individual runs that do show this. There's a couple GFS and European ensemble numbers that show this as well, kind of this hooking back in, a la Sandy, or Hazel in 1954 is an example. Her 1938 hurricane. I mean, these are the types of. It's been very rare to occur.
You need a perfect mid-latitude steering setup, yeah.
But there are enough. I mean, this is the 0-0 European last night. Mm-hmm. There are enough there to just have you continue to monitor. And again, anytime you're getting ridging with retrograding upper level lows underneath, those are very, very volatile from a model standpoint. That solution will change in the mid latitude. So the question is just where is the system? If the system is over eastern Cuba, no chance. But if it starts getting farther and farther and farther west, there is that option becomes a little bit more on the table.
I'm going to take us off the screen here for a second just to show a comparison of the operational Euro and the ensemble. So the operational is much more aggressive. Like the ensemble has a ridge up here, and then or the ensemble has a ridge, and then the op has this cutoff low that's backing off to the west under the ridge. That's way further. Well, it's not too much further to the north, but the op and the ensemble is pretty different here. I mean, the op digs this cutoff low all the way down to the Florida Panhandle. So and this is hour 222. I mean, this is 9 days away.
So, and that's a notorious bias for the European model and the operational in this time of year. Loves to take cutoffs and just drive them into the Gulf if they could. This has been something for the better part of a decade, longer of model watching that. The European will just take upper level features and just continue to drive it southeastward. What ends up happening is ends up being instead of the Panhandle, it ends up being in Tennessee. So, the differences with the ensemble and the operational really stem from kind of a lobe of the initial trough or the initial upper level low that gets pushed out day 5, getting caught underneath, and then it kind of just retrograding underneath that shows how strong and high pressure is. The flow actually goes in reverse underneath it, and it's bringing kind of a typical system that would be in the upper level westerlies. It actually has a move from east to west, which is pretty impressive.
And I'm a little surprised the Euro AI has this low deepening. I mean, the low's stacked. The upper level low is there. Like, there's no westward tilt with height at all, and it's if anything, it's a positively tilted trough. So, I'm not sure much to buy into that, but still, this time of the year, I don't remember exactly when Sandy was. I know it was late in the season. I don't remember if it was late October or November. The ensembles for Sandy. Somebody tweeted it. Somebody posted on Twitter. This is pretty similar to what the ensembles had for Sandy at this point in Sandy's life when it was in the Caribbean. It had it maybe hitting Bermuda and then heading out to sea east of the East Coast, east of Nova Scotia.
Yeah. I'm going to send you something here real quick. It'll kind of tell you the story. Just sent it to you on Slack.
There it is.
Same exact day, actually. Did October made landfall October 29th. But you know, this
This is
time
the
8 days
Sandy.
out, 9 days out. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much identical spot, and every model and their mothers were heading east. So,
Yeah. Only
has hurricane
one.
forecasting improved in 13 years? I would hope so, but
Yeah.
not a whole heck of a
We'll
lot,
find out.
honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll uh we'll find out with this. I mean, again, the next 48 hours will tell us whether there's even the potential. My my dad made an interesting point where this could be a little bit more like Wilma or like Joaquin, where the trough repels versus absorbs, like what happened with Sandy. But I think it's too early to make a definitive. That's what the pattern favors, but it all depends on where the storm is at, right? If the storm is down, where
You've
the
got
European
so
ensembles
many.
have it,
I mean,
yeah,
this is just crazy amount of anything below 960. And when you got anything below 960 on a 0.1 degree resolution model,
yeah,
yeah, you got
it's telling you something,
800s. If it gets west of Jamaica, I mean, it's going to be a Cat 5. There's pretty much no way it won't be.
right?
So,
Yeah. Yeah. And looking at the satellite loop, I mean, there has been some stacking this morning. There's still shear. The low level center continues to move on to the west. It's probably in the latest recon fix, still has it drifting northwestward as well. So, west northwestward. So, we'll see. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get this jump east that the GFS continues to insist upon. Um, you know, sort
should we
of
even look at the GFS?
ridiculously. I mean, we can. I think I think the funny image to look at it with is comparing it to the ensemble members, but where the operational is compared to the individual members, and it continues to be the farthest northeast on the envelope, and so it's either going to score the greatest coup in the history of modeling or fall flat on its face. We've seen this
There you go.
model
There's
fall
your
flat on
op.
its face.
There's the op. There's the ensemble.
Yeah, it's
At
just
81 hours. Like, this isn't even 120
yeah,
plus hours.
yeah.
If we take it out even further, it's probably worse. Yeah, it's way
Well, and
worse.
if you look at 850 millibars, it continue or the 850 millibar vorticity, it just continues to just reform itself east, like underneath the convection. It's feeding back. The GFS is notorious for convective
This is
feedback.
crazy bad. This is 700
Yeah,
vort, but I mean, it still shows the
yeah,
same story.
yeah. I mean,
Vorticity
you're
is
seeing it.
spin, by the way, for the
Correct.
folks at
Yeah,
home.
yeah, yeah.
Surface
So
spin, or in this case, spin about 8,000 feet up. Yeah.
So you can see there's kind of almost like four camps, right? One on the eastern tip of Cuba, one just north of Jamaica, and then the two or three, the consensus is southwest tip of Jamaica, a little bit farther southwest, and then a little bit farther west. Um, the
The
European,
Euro and the GFS ensemble are on top of each other almost here.
yeah, yeah, the year or the GFS is fully out on its own. Even the most
Canadians
progressive.
west, but
Way west, yeah. And even the most progressive models that you typically see, sometimes the icon's pretty progressive.
yeah.
The NavGen, nobody really looks at that anymore, but it's notorious for being severely progressive. Um, it's not even as far east as the GFS. So um, you don't want to ever discount it, but it's hard not to at this point.
There's some pretty good agreement here, I feel like now. I mean, and this is the story that really says it. You got an upper level anticyclone situated right on top of where it's probably going to be, 60 to 70% probability of where it's going to be. And that means hurricanes are engines. They take in fuel, the ocean, and they need exhaust, and that is an upper level anticyclone or high pressure system. And that is exactly what that is, allowing for efficient outflow around this storm. So, I mean, I
Yeah,
could draw
you
circles right
actually
here
have.
forever. I mean, it's just a perfect setup for
Well, look at it. You
an
have
engine.
four. You have four clear outflow channels. Obviously, the very robust one to the north. So when we talk about an outflow channel, and Dave, you make a really really good kind of like visual, picture of needs fuel, right? And then how efficient is it, right? How efficient is its exhaust? The more outflow channels, the more exhaust pipes, if you will, that you have, the higher the ceiling, the more efficient the engine will be. And so you have this one to the north, you have this bigger one off to the east, and then you even have a south to north outflow channel,
which is
going through
crazy.
the northern portions of the Eastern Pacific into the Gulf. I don't know if I've seen a model so clear, and this is an ensemble too, so clearly show four distinct outflow channels. Now you can see if the system is a little bit, yeah. So and it's going to want to try to align itself underneath. So they also want, in an area of poor steering or weak steering, whatever you want to call it, they tend to want to find the most favorable section for themselves. That's why you tend to see these systems when they're drifting, they will continue to drift southwest. We saw this with Joaquin in 2015. You saw this with Wilma in 2005. Though you kind of got to be aware of the systems that start moving southwest, because they tend to just find their upper level anticyclone. And like I said, I'm not sure I've seen four outflow channels be that distinctly shown on an ensemble run before.
Yeah. This could, everybody was stunned last year when Milton went from 970 to 890.
Yeah.
Not too far away, right off the coast of the Yucatan right here. And I'm not going to pull up a 2025 hurricane season map, but there has not been a single storm in this part of the Atlantic the entire year.
There's been barely thunderstorms to touch that water. I mean, it is truly undisturbed. And that's why the ceiling is so high. I mean, in 2005, you had Emily go through there, you had Dennis go through there. You had a lot of storms already kind of move through where Wilma had moved through. Wilma was a little bit farther south, but nothing has touched this water. So it is the ceiling is as high as it gets. That'll be the story. I mean, there is a 2 in 10, 3 in 10 chance this becomes the strongest storm that's ever been in the Atlantic Basin. I don't think it's hyperbole or insane to say it.
Yeah.
It just depends on if it gets into that position, southwest of Jamaica. That's gonna if we see that this is up at 17 north and 75 west, and it's gonna go over Jamaica, it's gonna be a formidable major hurricane regardless. The question is, does it drift south and west of Jamaica, all the European and its ensembles? So
yeah, we've had a lot of comments on our TikTok asking about Jamaica, and I think Jamaica is the biggest danger zone spot right now, if you will. I know there's a hurricane watch for Haiti, and Haiti will get hit, whether it's outer rain bands or, if the GFS is somehow right, a potential direct hit. But all signs, is the HWAR fed by the GFS?
Yeah, and the HMON as well, and the HMON. So both of those, and so they're a little. I mean, but the hurricane warf. I mean, even it's still the GFS never starts turning to the west. The H wharf gets in between Jamaica, and then you got it up too as well. In between Jamaica and Cuba, and it does start peeling off to the west. I mean, the HMON gets south of. Actually, I mean, the HMON would be a disaster for Jamaica. Just sits and spins just south of the island. Someone's going to get it really bad in this portion of the Atlantic Basin. I mean, it's either going to be, I think, regardless. Haiti is just such a flood-prone, mudslide-prone piece of land, especially with the deforestation there. There's nothing really to slow down the water coming down the slopes. Regardless, it's going to be bad there. These systems are always bad there. The question is, for Jamaica and Cuba, is this a benchmark storm for both of these places? Jamaica has been spared, the last decade plus. It's been a while since they've seen a system quite like this in their backyard.
Yeah, I think the halves were kind of out to lunch on Monday. They got a little bit better yesterday, and then today it's even better. I think the halves are very similar to both the GFS ensemble and the Euro op. I think the Euro's done the best with this. I mean, the Google DeepMind is fine. I have feelings about the deep mind, honestly.
Well,
it's just so it's so back and forth. It's so back and forth.
It seems to need to see the situation or have seen it before. So, like, when you have your fifth recurring storm of the hurricane season, right, in your kind of your pilot year, by the fifth one, it picks it up. It's a learning.
Yeah.
It learns. It teaches itself and it learns as it goes. It's had no experience with a system like this, other than whatever input there has been from previous systems. But we just don't know, to the extent as to what we're dealing with this model. So it has self-corrected, but this was in the GFS camp 2 days ago.
It was.
It had almost everyone just kind of turning northeast. So it seems to be that the deep learning models, and we'll see going into next year, right, if it has a season under its belt. But here's the thing. It hasn't seen a Gulf storm this year. So it's like, how's it going to be in its first couple of Gulf storms of next year, if there are any? So yeah, it's kind of a mystery as to exactly what is driving the model. And then it doesn't give us a very clear picture as to how to kind of dissect it and know its biases. We know the European bias. We know the GFS bias. The GFS wants to go northeast and convectively feed back as much as possible. That's usually its case. The European at times wants to just sort of feed back on itself and go the other way. The answer usually lies somewhere in between. We don't know that bias yet for the Google DeepMind models.
Are you surprised that there's not more members that try to pull a Wilma and go to South Florida?
I think a lot of it depends. It seems to be that there's a block. So you go up, there seems to be more troughing. It's a little bit later in the season, and so sort of the bear clinic zone, if you will, seems to be just overall 250 miles farther to the southeast. There's certainly, I mean, we're not even getting any sort of spread of anything kind of broadening and going into the panhandle. I mean, usually you see a spread, kind of that spider leg look as you go. If you continue to loop it out here, there's a consensus that there is no storm, and there's no consensus, into the eastern Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America, sorry. And so, am I surprised? I think you kind of see this at the top of the time frame. A lot of low pressure, moving into the southeast and the western Gulf. Does that have some members day 15 just still holding it down in the Caribbean and then bringing it north? That's
crazy. Like 3, but.
So I think it's just the seasonality. It's very hard to get these systems to continue to back northwestward because you're going to get a trough at some point. So I do think it's pretty interesting. You can see the bias between the Euro ensembles and GFS ensembles and their progressive nature. When I say progressive, wanting to kind of quicken the flow, I guess, in the mid latitudes. And there isn't a single GFS ensemble member, even with it now getting farther west in the Caribbean, that hooks us back. It's just out to sea, which is more than likely what's going to happen. But the European probably has 10 to 20% of members that do this look. This would be, I mean, that's Sandy right there. I mean, it'd
be a stride. And Sandy wasn't even a hurricane when it made. Is that 935? Is this number 935?
So Sandy, I was in New York City for Sandy.
Yeah.
Sandy was 939 millibars landfall, right? There were 95 mile per hour gusts. Whether there was a hurricane or not is a very contentious argument in my household. And
I wonder why.
Let's just put it this way. I mean, my grandparents at the time lived near Atlantic City. The eye went right over them. It was 78 degrees on October 29th at night in South Jersey. That seemed pretty warm core to me, but it's a different argument for a different time. So
yeah, back to the whole South Florida point. I went to college in Miami. Usually the first cold front that came through was right around Halloween. Go Canes. We won't talk about last Friday. Usually the first cold front was right around Halloween. And once you get the first cold front, then you're like, all right, we're out of the woods. We don't have to worry about a hurricane. Like you said, it pushes the baroclinic zone off to the south. There's your force field. We're done. October has more hurricane landfalls in South Florida than September does because of the Wilma type setup, because of something like this. But if the cold front beats a storm, a tropical system, hurricane, it doesn't matter, which could be the case. That could be the saving grace for South Florida next week.
Yeah. It's now with, I think it was, what was the system, Dave?
Look at the ensemble mean here. Is that just because of these crazy outliers? I mean, this is a 930 low off the coast of Virginia Beach.
Yeah, I think a combination of the crazy outliers plus what will more than likely happen if there isn't a phasing of the system of the hurricane in the trough is you'll get a coastal low that develops in between. If you remember Joaquin, I think it was Notre Dame and Clemson played in a game where they had 6 inches of rain during the storm because there was a massive coastal low that developed on the trough that was kind of repelling Joaquin out in 2015. Same thing happened with Wilma. Wilma continued to ride out, and it was actually a big nor'easter and a snowstorm that developed. So I think what you're seeing is a combination of, yes, those insane runs, those insane individual members that do get hooked in and absorbed, as well as some of the ensembles actually showing a new coastal low forming in between. So I can't get over. I'm still surprised there's that many members that show that hooking in there.
Yeah, the fact you got 20 to 30% of the members of 2+ inches in 24 hours at
November
forecast hour 240. I mean, that's like you said. Even if you don't get a hurricane, you're going to get a coastal low to dump a ton of rain. Not snow, I don't think, but maybe in some of the. There you go. Some of the
higher
North
elevations,
Carolina mountains,
Blue Ridge,
Asheville, and then
you
ski
get
season.
Evansburg, PA, down through Snowshoe. Garrett County, Maryland is a notorious spot for getting the first snow of the year. If you ever driven that part of the country, you get pretty high elevation up there.
Have not.
Pretty far. We'll have to get you up to Pennsylvania sometime, Dave.
If you get Jim Strickland out, I'll go up. So there's one.
He's gone, man. He's gone somewhere else to win a national championship, apparently.
I guess so. What else should we look at here? We're close to the 11 a.m. update from the Hurricane Center.
Recon's still in there. I'm super interested to. It would have been, one of these times fun to do one of these as the 12Z or as a model cycle update is coming through, because I'm extremely interested to watch the 12Z models come in.
We can get back on here at 1 o'clock. I'm sure you got things to do.
I mean, I would love to be able to just do this all day. We'll see. 1 o'clock Eastern. Can't do it.
Can't
do it. I could do an afternoon stream though. I could come back on. We could do a little review as to what we saw at 12Z. And if we don't do it today, there will be some opportunities in the coming days. This thing isn't going anywhere. That's the problem.
Let's not burn all our fuel here today. Look at this. So this is
speaking of fuel. Oh my goodness.
Good segue there. This isn't just surface ocean temperature. This is depth of heat throughout the ocean column, or throughout the depth of the ocean, if you will. And some of these, south of Jamaica, are off the scale. Not good.
No. And look at it north of Cuba, too.
Yeah, the Gulf Stream's still kicking here.
Yeah. Wow. And what is you see all that kind of oceanic heat content or potential north of a line from Fort Lauderdale on the east where it kind of drops off. But by the time the system is up there, you have two different forces that end up playing a role in the maintaining of the system. You have Bear Clink processes, so it starts losing some of its tropical characteristics. But that can actually aid in the maintaining of a system. And then, but it's the potential kind of comes down to And also it's moving way faster. So there's just less time for a decrease in organization. So, Sandy is a great example of, by the time it was, moving, to shore, it was moving at 30 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour. That just doesn't happen very much. The 1938 hurricane, which is the benchmark hurricane for New England, it's almost not real. Some of the stories, 185 mile per hour wind gusts in Blue Ridge, Massachusetts, 20-foot storm surge into Providence, Rhode Island. It's almost like you couldn't even imagine it. It was moving at 40 miles an hour, right? The first raindrop started, and 8 hours later, the storm was gone. So it's different than when you get stuff on the East Coast. They're just kind of like they're freight trains. They just come. Meanwhile, in the Gulf, you think of Helene, you think of Katrina, you think of all these storms that just kind of crawl. Right, and it's kind of a long duration event. Some of these, there's different ways to kind of maintain these systems, but the amount of energy that's in the Caribbean, again, there's going to be a spectacular show that the entire weather community is going to be talking about here if this system stays south of Jamaica.
And we're going to be talking about it for a while.
Yeah. Get some subject matter finally.
Maybe I won't be able to go to Dallas next week. We'll see what happens. Duty calls.
You got a show?
No, I'm supposed to go to the Miami SMU game next Saturday, but maybe not. We'll probably lose anyways. So Andy with a good tweet here. If Melissa, this is only a couple hours ago. This is just over an hour ago. If Melissa does end up turning west over the Caribbean south of Jamaica, like everything but the GFS, which we have an acronym for, but we can't say it on stream. Generally, blanking blank. How about that? I don't think it's hyperbolic to say we'll likely get a Cat 5 and quite possibly one of the strongest storms ever recorded in the Atlantic. Deep, warm water. We literally just showed you these two maps. This is Brian McNulty's graphic. This is a good one. And then you got an anticyclone right on top of it, the jet to the north, moist. I mean, there's no dry air at all. We haven't even talked about any dry air concerns because there are no dry air concerns. What do we say? Both HAFS models have this right around 900. I think both of them do.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. I mean, what are the range for the hurricane model right now is from strong category 4 to record-breaking category 5.
Yeah.
Now both. I mean, this is
look at the agreement. HAFS A, HAFS B. I mean, they're both on top of each other with. One's 900, one's 902. Take your pick.
I mean, you're getting, Honduras and El Salvador on the southwest part of the screen there?
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting pretty far south and west.
195 gusts. Wow. You want to be a hurricane hunter next week? I don't.
I don't think in this one.
Sustained 166.
Wow. Is that miles per hour or knots? Miles per hour. Yeah. It'll be interesting to watch. Again, the trends will be, we get the windshield wiper effect, right? So the trends have really gone to the left in the last 36 hours. Let's see how they, let's see how they adjust here, and how far the wiper goes back to the right. And that'll determine our ceiling, I think. If we continue to see this moving to the left, to the left, to the left.
I want to see if they might have to the left.
Yeah. I mean, they're now definitively keeping it south of that, at least for the main track, south of Jamaica.
Do you think they take part of Haiti out of the watch, I wonder?
Yeah. I don't know yet. I think they're still leaving that GFS door open slightly.
Yeah. I wonder if they go hurricane watch for Jamaica. Probably not. You probably can't. It's too early. Because, I mean, even this is 6 days or 5 days. It's still southwest of Jamaica, but you've got winds 40-plus miles per. Maybe, do we want to send me to Jamaica? They just added a nonstop flight from Raleigh to Montego Bay. I don't know if I can fit the Montego Bay. Huh?
One-way ticket. It reminds me of you watch The Office.
A little bit.
Oh my gosh, bro! You gotta watch it 4 times through, man. but Michael Scott's like they're trying to find the leaker in the office. They leaked the news story. He's like, we're going to send them on a one-way ticket to Montego Bay, thinking it's Guantanamo Bay. So I think the question is, does this go to Montego or go to Guantanamo?
Well, have you seen that? Have you seen the show? Manifest. Have you seen Manifest?
Mm-hmm. No.
With Melissa, what's her name in it? And it's funny with Melissa Roxborough in it. It's so funny because this is Melissa. Okay. Great show. So the premise is that they're on vacation in Jamaica. They're flying Montego Airlines, whatever. Okay. And on the way back, they get struck by lightning, and they're all of a sudden like 5 years ahead of everybody. Or they're 5 years back. I forget what. I watched like 2 years ago. But if I go to Jamaica, maybe I'll time travel.
There'll be a lot of lightning in the sky. For sure.
Yeah.
But
all right, it's 10:40. This new update advisory from the Hurricane Center has got to be coming in any minute. Could be now. Could be at 10:50. I'm looking at my phone to make sure I got their tweet notification.
It's never actually at 11.
It's usually always before. Which is
you know what's nice about living in Central Time after living in the Eastern Time Zone your entire life? Like when you watch models all the time and you do like getting to winter because all the model runs come in an hour earlier.
Yeah.
Central Time, I'm just programmed on like I used to have to wait till 11 for the new Hurricane Center update to come out. Now it's 9:40 here. I get an hour early. I'm kind of like Manifest. I'm an hour ahead of you in this.
Rise in the chat wants to know, will this 900 millibar system go over Jamaica as a direct hit? It's possible. That's all we know right now.
I would say if it does, it kind of comes in from the south and east. We don't see a ton. Landfall?
I
think it stays west of it.
Is there a Jamaica view? There's a PR view. This will probably be the greatest look here. Oh, this is the 6Z. It misses it just to the west. But it's close enough that I mentioned earlier, I think Jamaica's in the biggest danger zone. Jamaica and Cuba. Cuba seems inevitable to get hit at some point next week. It's just a matter of is it Eastern Cuba, Central Cuba, or maybe Western Cuba?
Right.
This is that 9/28?
Yep.
Into Eastern Cuba next Wednesday, a week from today. Cuba and Jamaica are the two areas to be really, and even the Cayman Islands. I mean, it could get close to the Cayman Islands. I wish they had like a closer up Caribbean view. This is just too wide because the Cayman Islands are right here.
Mm-hmm.
I guess right here. And it gets close. But this would be a storm surge disaster for the south coast of Jamaica. You're talking 10 plus feet of storm surge.
Yes.
And then you've got the Bahamas, and then maybe you've got the Turks and Caicos if it goes far enough east.
Right.
It'll lose some steam as it goes over Cuba, but it's still, is that 9:45 heading towards the Bahamas next Wednesday night? 9:44?
Just ripping through there. Yeah, absolutely.
And then you've got Gus along the East Coast. And this isn't too crazy because it stays far enough east. Yeah, the trough does just shove it off to the east. I wonder why it doesn't phase it at all. That's very interesting.
Yeah, got to get some height rises out ahead of it. Also, the initial trough lowers heights enough where it kind of just continues to stay in the flow versus the kind of, being right back. But you're like you said, I mean, with the European ensembles, like there's enough there to kind of give. Yeah, you can see. So if you go back to the op real quick, and you go up to like hour 2:16 or something. So right here, so go back one more frame.
2:10.
Yeah, right there's perfect. You can kind of see east of Nova Scotia, where Jamie Canada lives, one of our awesome developers. you can kind of see the heights, the red line, if you will, where the red they start bending back south, northwest to southeast. Yep. So instead of just continuing instead of there being no trough here being farther east, this flow still stays out of the southwest. Versus if this was a little bit broader, you'd start to get this ridge a little bit more pumped into Nova Scotia, and then this were in Newfoundland, and you would get this to kind of hook. Now that's what you're seeing with some of the models is like this trough, or some of the ensembles trough gets out of the way. This ridge is probably stronger. And so they kind of feed on each other, right? You have two levels of steering. You have the trough steering and the ridge steering, and it's just going to follow these lines. Well, if these lines are a little bit northwest or north to south, you might just get this come due north. So,
yeah, like this is the 12Z yesterday, and this is this morning's run. I mean, they're pretty different.
Yeah.
The 0Z, the morning run, has the ridge all the way up to here. And yet yesterday's 12Z has it much further south.
Right.
And do these upper level lows phase, do they combine?
Right. Still no update from Hurricane Center. Oh, big update coming.
Melissa's got something up her sleeve. I don't know what it is, but she's got something. Whether it's Jamaica, Cuba, Cayman Islands, Southeast Florida, you know, there's something that or the East Coast, yeah.
Well, Dave, I gotta go to my day job here.
Okay. Hey, this is your day job.
This is the part of the day job that's more
the fun part.
Leisure.
Leisurely?
That is the fun part for sure. Yeah.
We got 12 people in here right now. Thanks for joining us, everybody. Hopefully we're being informative. We might have to do it again tomorrow. Maybe we should do it every day.
Yeah, we might have. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the last hurrah of the season. Maybe we do this. Maybe not, as much as we can. We'll try to. I know you'll be on here as much as you can, and I can hopefully jump in as much as possible too.
Saturday at 8 a.m. You want to preempt College game day? That's 7 a.m. your time. That might be too early. Yeah,
Depends. The issue is I'm going to be up at 3 a.m. watching the ensembles come in, so it'll be a short night of rest then.
This guy right here, this guy right here is a true meteorologist. You deserve some camera.
I'm a true model walker, that's for sure.
Yeah, well,
I will sit and watch them.
We got to put something on your walls. We got to spice up your background a little bit.
I know. There's a lot that I'm not a big TV guy. So you're the TV guy. So, I mean, I do have a TV right here. So we could put it back.
I'm going to Costco right after this. I'll buy you something to have it shipped to the Woodlands.
Yeah. Send me I need a mic and a new camera. So let's start there.
Then you'll need lights, and then you'll need
Oh, I can turn this on. Here's my there we go. The
light is a little better. I'm gonna end the stream, and then immediately after, the Hurricane Center is gonna issue a hurricane watch for Jamaica.
That's exactly what's gonna happen.
All right, Garrett.
All right, Dave.
It's been a pleasure.
Good stuff. Yep.
Lot to track.
Talk soon.
We'll have a short this afternoon. Probably no long video today unless there's something major changes. But we'll have a short every day, maybe more than once a day if needed, as we get a little bit more clarity on who's going to get hit by Melissa. Thanks for joining us here at Flash. Be back soon. Hopefully this doesn't get – you just get these kinds of storms in the Caribbean. Somebody is going to get it bad. It's just a matter of who and where.